What happens when ambition spirals out of control? Can guilt truly consume even the most ruthless minds? And in the end, was Macbeth ever in control of his fate? Welcome back to Guides, English Language and Literature, your one-stop solution to understanding Shakespeare's Macbeth. In this video, we'll break down part 1 of Act 5, focusing on key events, Macbeth's character development, and Lady Macbeth's psychological collapse. We'll explore how both characters react to the final moments of their reign and how their choices seal their fates. But this is just the first half of our deep dive into Act 5. In Part 2, we'll analyze plot development, imagery, language, setting, and themes, so make sure to watch that next for a complete understanding of the play's final act. Key events. Act 5 unravels the tragic downfall of Macbeth. As his enemies close in, Lady Macbeth succumbs to guilt, and the supernatural prophecies take their final, chilling form. Scene 1. Lady Macbeth's madness. Lady Macbeth sleepwalks, tormented by guilt. She obsessively rubs her hands, trying to wash away an invisible stain of blood. "Out, damned spot!" she cries, unknowingly confessing to Duncan's murder. The doctor and gentlewoman watch in horror, realizing no medicine can cure a guilty conscience. Scene 2. The advancing armies. Scottish nobles gather with Malcolm's English forces. They march toward Dunsinane, determined to overthrow Macbeth. His support is crumbling, and his enemies sense his downfall is near. Scene 3. Macbeth's desperate defiance. Inside the castle, Macbeth clings to the witch's prophecies. He believes he is untouchable. When his servant tells him of the approaching army, he lashes out in anger. When told of Lady Macbeth's condition, he barely reacts. His heart is as dead as his conscience. Still, he prepares for battle, convinced that no man of woman born can harm him. Scene 4. Birnam Wood moves. Outside Dunsinane, Malcolm orders his soldiers to cut branches from Birnam Wood to use as camouflage. This simple military tactic unknowingly fulfills the witch's prophecy. Birnam Wood is moving toward Macbeth's castle. Meanwhile, inside, Macbeth remains oblivious, still believing he is invincible. Scene 5. Lady Macbeth's death and the tomorrow speech. Devastating news reaches Macbeth. Lady Macbeth is dead. His reaction is shockingly detached. Instead of grief, he delivers one of the most haunting soliloquies in Shakespeare. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. To Macbeth, life is meaningless, a fleeting illusion, a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. His final spark of humanity is gone. He is ready to die fighting. Scenes 6 to 8. Macbeth's final battle and death. The battle begins. Macbeth slays enemies effortlessly until he meets Macduff. As they fight, Macduff reveals the truth. He was not born of woman, but delivered by a C-section. The witch's prophecy was a cruel trick. Macbeth realizes his fate is sealed, but he refuses to surrender. "Lay on, Macduff," he shouts, choosing death over disgrace. In the final clash, Macbeth is slain and beheaded. With the tyrant dead, Malcolm is crowned King of Scotland, restoring order to the kingdom. Macbeth's reign of terror is over, and the cycle of justice is complete. Character development. Macbeth's transformation in Act 5. By the final act, Macbeth has completed his tragic transformation from noble warrior to tyrannical ruler. His character exhibits a complex blend of fatalistic acceptance and desperate defiance. His emotional numbness is evident when he receives news of Lady Macbeth's death with the detached, "She should have died hereafter." Death no longer shocks or saddens him. He sees it as inevitable, just another event in life's meaningless cycle. Despite growing isolation, he clings to the witch's prophecies with increasing desperation, showing his psychological dependence on supernatural assurance. The belief that no man of woman born can harm him makes him overconfident, even as his enemies close in. His bravery resurfaces in the final battle. "I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked," revealing remnants of the warrior he once was. Even when faced with certain defeat, he refuses to surrender, showing a last flicker of the courage that once defined him. When the prophecies prove deceptive, he experiences a moment of clarity about the futility of his ambition. Life is now a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. All his power, ambition, and struggle have led to nothing. His final refusal to kiss the ground before Malcolm's feet demonstrates his pride endures even in defeat. Rather than live in disgrace, he chooses to die fighting, holding onto his last shred of dignity. The fearless soldier who once fought for Scotland has become a ruthless tyrant, and in the end, all that remains is his unyielding pride. Lady Macbeth's psychological decline. While Macbeth hardens externally, Lady Macbeth collapses internally, overwhelmed by guilt that manifests in her sleepwalking and obsessive hand-washing. Her psychological deterioration contrasts sharply with her earlier strength and ambition. Out damn spot! Out, I say! Her famous sleepwalking scene reveals subconscious guilt through her compulsive hand-washing. The blood she once dismissed as a little water clears us of this deed is now impossible to wash away. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Shows her inability to escape her crimes. No matter what she does, the psychological weight of murder cannot be erased. The doctor observes her condition requires the divine than the physician, suggesting spiritual rather than medical treatment. No earthly cure can help her now. Her suffering is beyond medicine, is the consequence of her actions. Her descent into madness represents the psychological cost of their shared ambition. The ruthless woman who once manipulated Macbeth now crumbles under the same crime she encouraged. Her ultimate suicide, reported but not shown, completes her tragic arc from powerful manipulator to broken victim of her own machinations. Once the driving force behind Macbeth's rise, she is now powerless, consumed by the very ambition she once controlled. That brings us to the end of part 1, where we saw Macbeth become a hardened tyrant and Lady Macbeth fall apart under the weight of guilt. The once powerful couple is now broken. One resigned to his fate, the other unable to escape hers. But how does Shakespeare's use of imagery, motifs, and language add deeper meaning to their downfall? And what final message does the play leave us with? Find out in part 2, where we explore the imagery of blood and sleep, analyze Macbeth's final soliloquies, and discuss the major themes of Act 5. Make sure to watch it for a breakdown of Shakespeare's tragic conclusion. See you in part 2.